Hey, what's up, Hood News peeps? You're back with us again. You're not tired of us. Hey.
It's episode 9.
Yes, Hector's here with me. Episode 9. How about that?
Yeah.
Man.
It's been a crazy week.
It has, and we got so much entertainment for you guys. Go get your snacks, coffee, drinks, chips, whatever. Come on, let's go.
It was rodeo week. It was the cook-off, and wow, we had some wild stuff, and it was rodeo bronking and jumping and all kinds of stuff there.
It wasn't just the cook-off and the beers and all the good stuff that was popping. Apparently, boots were popping too out there,
yeah.
right?
They were boot scooting back in the boot scooting in the tents, as you can see right here in this video here. You know, once you get people that were there, they were all, just drinking, and it's a little bit of late, and you got some barbecue and ribs.
Man,
or maybe some of them were just waiting for the line for the ribs and didn't get any. They got a little hangry there.
Yeah, so we had a couple of brawls to, it's not rodeo without a couple of Texas Hold'em, in the air, that kind of good vibe, but not everybody could keep it together, apparently. We had a lot of action this weekend, Hector. We had a video sent in to us. We're going to play some of it for you guys right there.
Yeah, and this video was actually shared onto our website and Saturday, Sunday. It got over 60,000 visits to Grizzy'sHoodNews.com. Wow. This video went viral.
Yes.
But you can see here, props to the police officers who come in and shut it down as quickly as possible. Nobody's got seriously injured in this.
No, and you know what's amazing? When you're watching the video, the band does not stop. They understood the assignment, folks. The band.
Don't be careful going home. Don't forget the freaks are out. Johnny Law's looking for you.
If you're going to play in Texas.
Yeah, you better keep on trucking, man. You keep going. Like, you don't stop. So that was definitely the case. So these guys, we see women on one corner, and then we have men on the other side of the arena. But then you hear the band leader. Shout out to him.
Yeah, Kevin Fowler, right?
Yeah, we just found out Kevin effing Fowler, you guys. Yeah, that's what they say. I was like, what? But that's, I mean, they wanted that emphasis. The peeps wanted that in there.
He knew the assignment.
Yeah, he did. Like, he held it down. He's still entertained, kept the music and the vibe going.
Yeah, one thing I love about the video is you can hear him say, hey, you guys, right when the fight starts, he's telling people, all right, guys, it's time to go. Be careful. He keeps playing.
Yeah.
He goes, there's some freaks out tonight.
Yeah.
And while that's saying that, then there's some fists being thrown around.
Yes. Man, look at them, man. Even the cooks came from back there, right? Like, I see aprons. Man.
They're fighting all those ribs.
Yeah. Man, that food was good. The food was really good when they throw it out, literally. Yeah.
Oh, what's out, man? What tent was this? I want to get some wristbands for next year.
Right. Somebody hook it up.
Dinner
y'all.
and a show.
Yeah. So we had, of course, the comments go live on these things, and it's still going on till right now, right?
Yeah, there's some drama that's happening right now on the Facebook page right now. I saw some really deep stuff that's going on. So make sure you follow Grizzy's Hood News on Facebook. But Jay on Facebook says, this must be them deleted scenes from Urban Cowboy.
Then we've got Kim Green. And the band kept minding the business that paid them.
That's right. George Strait ain't got nothing on this guy.
Nope, not at all. All right, Hector. And one thing about, trying to get to the rodeo is trying to find the transportation and the means too. You want to avoid the parking.
Oh, man.
So a lot of people go to downtown and take the Metro rail.
Right.
Well, we had a brawl on the Metro rail too.
Yeah, I saw that. Someone got railed down there on the Metro rail.
Yeah, man, it was going down.
What's the backstory on this?
I don't really know, but we do have video footage. Apparently, a guy in a black shirt is, telling them, hey, if you see somebody, slap someone. If you see someone, slap someone. Well, they saw someone, and it got worse than that. Like, punches were thrown.
Yeah.
And, I'm a people watcher, Hector. So I loved watching all the different reactions from all the different people on the bus. But I noticed something. The guy in the red's wearing that Cougs shirt. So
U of H?
Yeah, so it was like the dude was saying, whose house?
It's Cougs' house.
Woo! There
Cougs definitely showed up. It looked like, they were going at a really good brawl there. On the Metro Rail. By the way, when's the last time? Metro Rail, man, it's a lot of stuff that's always happening on the rail.
Yes.
Either somebody gets hit, hurt, stabbed, shot. Man, I took my kids there once a couple years back, and I was like, I'm never gonna do this again. It was pretty dangerous.
Somebody tried to hit on my mom, and my dad and my brother just allowed it. I'm like, what? I'm like, hey, leave my mama alone, Mama Castillo. I love you. But yeah, it was just like really crazy. Like, folks get real rowdy on the Metro Rail.
Oh, absolutely. The Metro Rail is one thing. everything. And, they're taking people down Main Street, down to Midtown, and down, to the NRG Stadium.
Yeah.
But there's this guy here is in a fight, but then it looks like some other lady kind of jumps in, right?
Yeah, she grabs life by its horns. I mean, seriously, like this lady grabs the bull by the horns. Like everybody's going to have mixed opinions. Bottom line, the Hood News peeps, based on what we saw in the comment thread, Hood News peeps say, well, she ride or die with her man. You know? So, yeah, I think it's definitely like Hood News worthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like I said, this guy just kind of, we also don't know what happened before this video started being recorded. So a lot of people could say this guy in the black shirt was starting it off. But if he did, the Cougar guy looks like he finished it off.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Glad nobody was seriously hurt. But, homeboy in the glass in the back just having a front row seat there chilling.
Yeah. And then somewhere in there, you'll see a woman. She's laying down still watching the fight. Dude, I'm like, who is that? There she is right there. You can see her.
Way in the back.
Somebody sitting in her lap right there. Some guy in the blue shirt. Man, that's just wild. She's still watching. Look. That's one thing about H-Town. We love to see some squabs.
Right. Grizzy on Facebook, you said, dude said, whose house? Coog's house.
Yes. And then Hector cracks the jokes. We like to crack jokes too, you guys, okay? It's not just about presenting the news or, whatever's going on. We like to crack them too. And then Hector said, long hair don't care.
From someone that's bald.
Oh, no.
Hey, and then also Peter says, this is why we don't have a subway system, guys.
Man, I would love to have a subway, but you know what?
Yeah.
We don't want folks getting thrown off the subway. We don't need that around here. So, yeah, keep the subway. Hold back on that.
I saw a video that was posted a few days back, and it was a group of youngsters that were up at Deerbrook Mall up on 59 and 1960 North. They looked like they went into a jewelry shop and started vandalizing and just kind of went through a heist.
Yeah, something that's been happening quite a lot lately, and I always hear the reference, don't California or Texas. Well, it's happening. Like just last week, we received video footage of some kids smash and grab at a jewelry store. They go in with hammers, go clear out, they get all the jewelry, and they run off. Well, this happened again last night over at Deerbrook Mall. So we had two unknown individuals, walk up to the jewelry store, and they grabbed a hammer, like each one, and they're just plowing. And they took tons of inventory from a local jeweler.
And that stuff's real expensive.
Yeah. My understanding is that these guys fled the scene and got away. Like, officers were on standby, they were waiting, but unfortunately the traffic, the high rate of speed that these guys were traveling in, then they cut off their lights. And I know this because Hood News peeps were reaching out to me about this, incident from what they saw out on the road. They didn't understand until they saw my video what was going on. So, yeah, it's some crazy stuff, I
mean, could you imagine being there while that's happening?
Yeah, look at them. Just, man, all that force, they could put it to use in a good job. Like, you could literally work.
And, I'm probably the natural person to try to stop that. Like, I would, if I was there, I'm thinking, like, what would I do in that situation?
Yeah.
But then I look back at what's been happening in the news and what's been happening here on Grizzy's Hood News. Like, you know what? Even if it's jewelry or whatever, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to stand back and let the cops do their job. Yeah,
just let them do it and not get in harm's way.
That's why you see the employees jumping in, too, as well.
Yeah, I don't even blame them. I definitely wouldn't. It's just too dangerous. The unknown variable is what we don't know.
Right.
So, yeah.
Like you said, whether you're dealing with people smashing and grabbing in your car, they're going inside the mall, the Galleria, Deerbrook Mall, and they're going and doing
crowded malls with security. I mean, that's the crazy part. Like, these guys are willing to lose their freedom.
Yeah, he was ready. He came in there with that Merce, man purse. He came in with that Merce, ready for a smash and grab there. So, Mish, I hope I'm saying that right, on Facebook says, I hope their parents are watching this video for real. Kids don't ruin your life like this. Be smarter than this.
Yeah, that's just wild. Like, that's sad to see young people. We always, on the Hood News, we like to advocate for the kids, and this is really sad when kids go this route. We want them to see themselves maybe on the Hood News and redirect their path. If they don't get caught, we hope they see it and get the message like, dude, you can do better. So then we got Christy, one of our friends. She says, well, damn. We said, don't California, my Texas, but here we are. Then we've got Ricardo, one of our top commenters. He says, mijo no hizo nada. Va a la iglesia y estudia.
That's right. So, church and study.
Yeah, church and study. And let me tell you, if you don't know Spanish, you're going to learn some on the Hood News. You're going to learn. Stick around with us long enough, you'll pick up a second language.
We even got commercials in Spanish here. Okay, if you're traveling up 45 north or down 59 south, you're probably going to see somebody else in a car accident. Just keep driving, no rubbernecking, just keep going. But if you ever find yourself in that car accident, we have the firm and the lawyer that will look out for you and will fight for your rights.
That's right.
That is the Hollingsworth Law Firm, proud sponsors of Grizzy's Hood News. Hollingsworth Law Firm will fight for you, and you don't have to pay unless you win.
That's right.
Google them. That is the Hollingsworth Law Firm, or you could find them online at grizzlieshoodnews.com on one of the banners there on our website. If you find yourself in a situation, call Hollingsworth Law Firm.
All right, Hector. So one thing that we're always advocating is domestic violence. We always want to be the advocates. I'm a survivor of it. I know you might have seen or know friends of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it affects a lot of families, a lot of people through friendships, all kinds of ways. It doesn't discriminate for sure. So one thing we do want to say is if you need help, there is help available.
Yeah, that number is 1-800-799-7233. If you find yourself in a domestic situation where you're being abused, please reach out, 1-800-799-7233. I know we make light of things, and we try our best because every day, you got to think about it. Every day here at Hood News, we're dealing with so much traumatic and trauma.
Yes.
Sometimes the only things you could do is kind of laugh, about make light of situations. But this situation, as far as like when it comes to domestic violence,
we don't play. We're not
right.
playing with it. Like, we got your back. Reach out to me. I will help find resources. And if I don't, I'll yell to the world that somebody needs help. I'll keep you anonymous. We'll help you because we do.
But we had a situation this past weekend too. You were at a hotel on Southwest Side.
So there was a Oyo on your own.
Oyo.
I don't know, like that. We were playing around with the wordplay on this. We don't know what it means. I thought it was the OYO because I was OYO hotel. No. Oyo. I was like, what? That sounds crazy, but it's fitting for the hood. So this was somewhere in the west side of Houston. We had the West Side Patrol pull up. A man had done something to a lady, and she had to go to the hospital. She's non-critical, and she made it out safely, but he barricaded himself inside this house, and this clown thought he was just gonna get away with, oh yeah, I want to do something and barricade, and next thing you know, SWAT came in. And, we love them SWAT trucks.
They came into the tanks.
Yeah, I mean the Payao trucks, all that stuff, and I got to see Payao, the big Payao and Junior Payao. Those are big old armored trucks.
Oh, they came ready.
Oh yeah, the remodeling services available if necessary, by all means.
But here's a suspect, or here's a guy right here. He's brought out, like you said, he was hair down, and he's
Hector. That was scary when this guy came out like that. I was like, this reminds me of the little girl from The Ring. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's creepy. I'm like, look at him.
Probably why you needed SWAT out there.
Yeah, man. Cucuy.
Yeah. But I was watching live when this was happening. Grizzy, a lot of chiquitas were going wild
during this. The candy that's available out there during these live videos, when we got our men and women of law enforcement, we got a lot of people that truly, truly, truly appreciate our men and women of law enforcement. Oh yeah.
I was watching the comments; they were hilarious too. And then we had a situation too where I guess there was people walking in and out of the hotel. I guess going to the store and coming back. And you caught one guy in camo thinking that he was a.
Man, are we gonna bring that up right now? Because that's so embarrassing.
well, let me tell the story. Yeah, this poor guy was walking out, and he was like, "Man, I can't make this stuff up, guys. This guy's here. He's wearing a shirt that says sausage."
Yeah, it looked like it said sausage. It did. And I kept running my mouth and going on and on about it and laughing. What I didn't see was that all the peeps were like, savage.
It said savage.
Savage, Grizzy. It says savage. By the time I looked down, I was like, oh, it's savage? Oh, man. Hey, I thought it was a cop and it says sausage. Look. I thought it was a cop. Pensaba que era policía en camuflaje. Sí. I thought he was a cop. And the shirt says sausage. Hey, Hood News reporters need health care too, okay? It's not just the dogs that get it.
Hey, it was late at night too, I'll give you that. It was a long day. You're coming from Livingston, you're coming down to Houston.
Let me slide, y'all. Man. But yeah, I honestly thought it said sausage. And then I didn't just say sausage. something kicked in and I said, sausage. Like that was the way I said it. Like, oh yeah, his shirt says sausage. I thought he was like a SWAT member because he was dressed in camo. So much to my defense, until I saw, I was
probably
like,
trying sneaking out.
some possible side chick action there. I don't know, man. Hey, beware if you're at these motels, hotels, and a SWAT standoff or some kind of takedown happens. I do apologize if you're not there with the good of intentions, because we've busted down a few cheaters without wanting to.
Right. And we could tell also on live broadcast, because they'll actually turn away when you're broadcasting live, right? Yeah. They'll turn away. So they give the hints too as well what they're there for.
Next time, if you see me and you're not doing right, and you look at the Grizzy, you ain't gotta lock eyes, okay? You ain't gotta wave. Don't if you're doing foul, just go like this. And I got you. I will know to turn that camera away. I ain't trying to ruin marriages. We don't want the smoke.
Just don't wear a shirt that says savage.
Sausage.
Heather on Facebook says, if I'm your side chick and you take me to that hotel, we done.
Hey, so side chicks require more, okay? And then Cassie says, it's Oyo, because you on your own dealing with whatever you catch after being there. Oh, man. Dude, you guys are so funny. We look forward to the comments, by the way. I mean, it's fire. It's dope. I mean, we just really love you guys and appreciate that, man, because Lord knows sometimes things get real hectic, but when we come together and, you know, we can still raise awareness and have a good time and also advocate, man. It's like everything, you guys.
Especially, you know, like I said, you know, it's the tough week we've had and the constant news cycle where it's nonstop here in H-Town. It's nonstop. Yes. It's a city that never sleeps. And what's the word you say? Is H-Town's a city that's what?
City with no pity, like constantly.
All right, so if you've been keeping up with the Hood News, you know that we keep up with a lot of missing persons, and most of the time, hopefully most of the time, it's good news to report that they come back and they're able to be found. But in some situations, in sad situations, we're seeing that some people just go missing and just never come back, or they're found deceased, like this young man here, De Leon, that he went missing last year, right? Yeah,
so we have the story of Luis De Leon. He's a young man. I think he was about 18 years old, just graduated, hard worker. Mom was waiting for him to come home so she could feed him. You know, she loved to feed her baby boy after his long day of work. He told her, Mom, I'll be back. I'm going to go visit some friends real quick. I'll be right back. Unknowns to the family, he just went missing. Nobody knew where he was. It was unknown to them, like his whereabouts. They reached out to us and we went into play immediately. We started posting his missing flyer. HPD detectives were, you know, in on this too to search for him. Eventually a month passes by and the Texas EcuSearch is summoned to go search an area of interest. I don't know if it was based on cell phone technology or what happened, but his remains were found in a patch of grass on the north side of Houston that's along the railroad. And Hector, let me tell you something. Just a few weeks before, the former mayor had posted it was like a dumping spot where he was found. But a few weeks before he was found, they had a huge party, like a huge gathering of people. They cut ribbons. They were saying how it was no longer going to be a dumping site. And then behold, Texas EcuSearch finds this young man deceased, his remains. I mean, it was a whole month since he was there. So recently, nobody knew what happened or who was to blame. There was suspicions, of course. And the whole time, the family was waiting for justice for Luis. And they finally got it just a few days ago. Mom reaches out to me. She gives me a call and she says, Grizzy, somebody's been charged with the murder of my son. Right. And I said, wow. So what's his name?
Jonathan Hernandez, 18 years old.
This guy had to be extradited. Somebody helped him to get to Mexico where he was living like off the grid, no social media. People were keeping an eye out because he was a person of interest, from all the friends and family and whatnot. But they never saw any trace of him again. Well, they went after him. The police, U.S. Marshals went along with the Mexican authorities. They were able to capture him with their assistance and bring him back to Harris County, where he's been booked and charged with not only murder, but also tampering with evidence, namely a corpse.
Yeah, such a sad situation. It's a young man, a full life ahead of him, 18 years old. The other guy was, how old was De Leon?
19. 18,
De Leon was 19, and then the guy that was charged was 18. These are youngsters.
Yes, very
youngsters committing these crimes and ruining their lives over probably something stupid.
Nothing at all, like really nothing at all. So they had found his truck crash somewhere. So there were a lot of questions about what exactly did happen to Lewis. So there's so many questions unanswered, and it's going to be a process for this family. So keep them in your prayers, you guys at home. This is though some kind of win and some kind of
there's some closure in here, especially almost nearly a year of him, of this happening.
Yeah, it's going to be about 2 years before they see that justice. So we'll be keeping them in prayers and justice for Luis de Leon.
All right, so as you know, you've been following Grizzy's Hood News for the last couple of weeks, the last week and a half, really. Grizzy's been going out back and forth from Livingston to Houston almost every day in hopes to find the missing Audrey Cunningham out there. And last week we heard news that she was found dead there in Trinity.
Yeah, in the Trinity River, deceased. We heard some horrible details, which we won't get into here. Friends at home, shout out to my Livingston family out there. We gained a whole new community of peeps. A lot of them had followed, but we never had much interaction.
Right.
Well, we got about almost 2 weeks worth of meeting up with people. We got to see people pray, concerned, searching. We got to see all those efforts of law enforcement, all these different agencies coming together.
Yeah.
And when we got the bad news, Hector, from the last time we filmed, when we finished filming, I had to run out because there were new updates.
Yeah.
And so we get out there and it's just horrible. I will say, that this story has affected me in such a profound way that I'm gonna go see counselors, a grief counselor, at the end of this week to overcome a little bit of that, because we've never followed a story so closely,
right.
And then with such a tragic ending. It's not a small child.
Right.
She was beautiful little girl, happy, loved animals, just a great kid, sweetness, just pure sweetness.
And there's an emotional attachment that ends up happening, because not only that, the family is also involving and interacting with us too as well throughout the process, but then they're also becoming a fabric of the community. The community is hurting.
Yeah, they are.
Right.
Yeah,
and
they are.
They're leaning on, where Grizzy's Hood News and stuff like that, they're on hope, and they're finding hope in God. And but they had some beautiful tributes out there in Livingston.
Yeah, so I went out Saturday because I still needed that sense of, I don't know what it is, you guys. I don't know, because I had people worried about me. They're like, you're gonna go back out there? Yes, the answer is yes. I wanted to go out there and take in that and heal. It's part of whatever I was going through.
And that's a story. That's a story that should be covered, because the healing process, because the people who are the community, but also the followers too, because there's a lot of followers who were following Grizzy's Hood News that became attached to the story too as well.
Yes, it could have been your little girl, your little Audrey, So we went out there, and when we heard of the news the same day, that Wednesday, Tuesday, when we heard of the news on last Tuesday, we started making like a makeshift. Somebody bought some flowers.
Right. We
grabbed sticks together. We made a cross. But over time, it got transferred over to the other side, closer to where she'd been found.
Right.
We got pictures here of some of the tribute and memorials, and a video as well of what it looks like at night. But they hooked it up. People knew that Audrey liked the color purple. They knew she loved stuffed animals. She liked bears, and she loved stuffed animals. I got that from one of her family members. Her aunt shared that with me. And I mean, it's so beautiful, you guys. It's just the sweetest thing. And people can go to 59 North area, right over the Trinity River. There's a bridge. And as a matter of fact, there's even a banner somebody hung. And there's so many other things in the works to memorialize, respect, and pay tribute to such a beautiful young girl lost in a tragic, horrible way. But her memory and her light will always shine. And that's one thing that Livingston will never forget, is Audrey Cunningham.
Yeah, and if there's anything that's you never want to see something like this ever again.
No.
But the Word of God also says that even through the bad, good happens.
Yeah.
And some of the good stuff that we've seen is the community coming close together, and people finding hope in things, and maybe even being more alert around things and who's around them, and just people just leaning on each other, community unifying around each other. Yeah, and that's beautiful.
Legislation is in the works too, to avoid this kind of thing from ever happening again, because this person had some sort of prior that wasn't. It was like a sweet deal for somebody like him to not have to register as a sex offender, having had already like an enticing of a child charge. So that's definitely, shout out to Andy Kahn and everybody else who's working on this new legislation, bringing it in to avoid something like this happening to another child.
Right. Well, our prayers are up for the family
Yes.
and the community of Livingston.
Yes.
Thank you guys for everything you've also done for Grizzy's Hood News this last couple of days. Keep the family in your prayers, and we'll lift up the community of Livingston in prayer as well. All right, so this will do it for this week's Hood News Unfiltered with Grizzy. We want to thank our sponsors, Hollingsworth Law Firm, Arandas, and then also Air Team Heating and Cooling.
Yeah, we got some stuff in store for you guys.
Thank you guys, and until next week, if it's real news,
It's Hood News.